See, okay? Now, I want people to understand something in regards to being an a-hole, okay? And women, liking those guys over the uh, nice guys. Let me tell y'all something. All you nice guys with your cape on who defend women, who think that you're standing up for them, the same men that you think that she doesn't like, she does like them. But publicly, because of the social programming, she has to make you believe that she does not like that type of guy. This is why those type of guys get more women than you, because they see the world for what it is. You see the world for what you want to see it as. Men who live in reality have a better chance socially with women than the men who don't. Okay? Women actually are more attracted to men who tell the truth and are more honest with them than men who are not, because women can tell a mile away that you're telling her what she wants to hear. Now, if you look good enough, if you're attractive enough for her, she'll overlook that. The fact that you're telling her what she wants to hear. But if she isn't attracted to you and you're trying all this to appeal to her, bro, you're going to be ignored. Or she's going to use you to attack people that she disagree with. Like, look at social media. I mean, every time you have a talking point that is different than other people, they will go and they will get their simps to attack you. They will go and try to rally the troops. The reason why I'm not active like I used to be in Facebook groups is because you have a disagreement with somebody. You got all these males who will come to the comment section, especially if they tag them. They'll tag a whole bunch of people, and then all these dudes will come in with their cape on, trying to fight her battle, and she's sitting back laughing. Even though you're logically destroying these guys right in front of her face, these guys think that they're winning, They think they're defending, but you're just making yourself look weak and lame. Looking weak and lame to the point to where, man, they've put you so deep in the friend zone freezer, you ain't getting out of there. They could take you out and unthaw you, and you still wouldn't be able to win her over. It just would never happen. I just wish some of you guys would understand this. Be your own man. A lot of you have all the tools in the world to be great with women, to be great in business, but you throw it away because of the social programming that has programmed you to be a complete, a lame, weak beta male, unreliable. You following the leader. You don't want to be a leader. You're afraid to be out here and to get criticized. You're afraid of that. So instead of you using the tools that you have, you tend to follow behind everybody else. You tend to think that women think this way when they think this way, But I know a lot of you do have the tools it takes to succeed. You just got to believe in yourself. Don't let women dictate how you should be as a man, One of the saddest things that I see is when men come at other men. That's a very sad thing to see, because you think you're impressing these women. Bro, going back and forth online is not impressive to anybody. Okay? It just isn't. But the men that these women are going to give their attention to are the exact opposite of what you're trying to be. You're trying to be Mr. Perfect. You're trying to be Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Understanding. But what you don't understand is she's only going to use you for your attention. She's going to use you as a shoulder to cry on. Now, some has been able to win in that scenario. But some of you others, you can't win in those situations because you just don't have what it takes. There are some guys that are very smooth and they can keep themselves out the friend zone. And there's other guys that aren't as smooth because they're buying that BS that they're being told by this woman. This woman is telling you everything that is exact polar opposite of the men she deals with, because she has an axe to grind. When a woman has an axe to grind with an ex, of course she's going to want other men to be different than him. But what she's not telling you is that she's still sleeping with that ex. Off and on. That she's making D appointments to this guy, even though she don't like him. Why you think she's fighting with him every time he gets a new girlfriend? Think about it. Think about it. He's on social media having meltdowns over the last guy. So there's no room for you there. None. You know, I made the video about Future. I posted it today. And I talked about how, you know, all his baby's mothers are tied to him for life. And Future's the only man that they're ever going to let into their minds and hearts, so to speak. So whenever you try to date one of these single mothers, it's going to be an epic fail. It's going to be an epic fail because they don't feel the same way about you as they do their baby's father. You're always going to be seen as a new guy. No matter how many months and how many years you put into it, you're going to be seen as the new guy. I'm not saying that's in every situation, but in a lot of cases, that is true. That's why it takes so long for these women to move on, because they think that there's a slight chance that he's going to come back home, but he never does. Only time he comes back home is if he needs a place to stay. If he don't need a place to stay, he ain't coming home. He's staying gone forever. Now, in regards to the a-holes debate and the nice guys, there's a lot of you guys who, again, because of the programming, maybe you grew up in a single-parent household, maybe you grew up in a two-parent household. You tend to believe everything that you're hearing in our society about how to approach women, how to deal with women, how to attract them. People got to understand that you do the things necessary to build yourself up physically, financially. The women are going to come because they're going to see you as part of the percentile of guys who fit multiple categories. You have the looks, you have the money, so you're going to get that attention, you know? So the fact that you have guys out here who think that they have to relegate themselves to being a doormat, they have to relegate themselves to trying to change and fix somebody who ain't looking for that, you're in a bad spot, you know? Shout out to Obi. Appreciate that, man. I'll say this too. I know that there are a lot of men who aren't going to get married. There's guys who want to get married. You know, you're not going to change their mind. They've made their mind up. This is the lane that they want to go in. You know, those are guys who may have dealt with a lot of women their whole life, and because they've never had a problem getting women, they've never had quality women. So when they do find a real quality, genuine woman, they don't want to let her go. And what happens is they end up proposing to her and marrying her because out of all the women that they've dealt with, she fits everything that they're looking for, at least most of the things that they're looking for. So you do have that element as well, man. You got guys who come across women that come across that one woman that's really different than all the rest. And I'm telling you the reason why guys who have money and resources continue to get married. Because they genuinely believe that they've met somebody who's different. Because a lot of these guys have dealt with a lot of women. They meet that one woman who fits a lot of the things that they're looking for. And they don't want to let her go, you know. And because they don't want to let her go, they end up getting into a long-term relationship. Shout out to Curtis. I appreciate that, Curtis. Shout out to you, man. With the PayPal. So Bella donated earlier to PayPal. Appreciate it. So yeah, we got to have that perspective, man. You got guys who they've always been able to get women, but they've always met women that were only suited for short-term relationships and only suited for smashing and dashing. But they never met anybody who really fit the category they were looking for as far as somebody long-term. Now, in regards to nice guys, I don't believe all nice guys are the same. You got guys who their personality, they are very outgoing, but they don't have that temperament that women want. There's women, they want a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, okay? They want a guy who's a bit on the bipolar scale. They want a guy who can present himself as like a nice, outgoing guy, but at the same token, they want a guy who can become a beast, so to speak. You know, he has that he can become a beast when need be. You know, they want a guy who's both, so to speak, who can present himself as outgoing personality, you know, nice to everybody. I've seen women want to deal with guys that are religious, you know, but you also have an element of them. They want a guy who can get savage, who can get angry, you know, who can put them in their place. I don't know why they have to get angry to put you in your place. There's guys who can subtly put you in your place, but that's what they're looking for. A guy who's a bit of both, you know, a guy who's presentable to the family and friends. And you got the other side of them that they like to bring out of them. Because y'all know there are women that like to argue and fuss with guys. They want to see you get angry for whatever reason. But there are women that got an obsession with trying to make their boyfriends angry. You know, I don't know. But, you know, we got a lot of weirdos out here, man. Some of these women are weirdos, man. They are into some weird things, and they like weird men. They like weird acting men, you know? There are women that will date guys that they know may like to bat for both teams. I mean, you got some weird women out here, man. Knowingly now. Ain't no shit about you didn't know. You know that guy is into everything. And you deal with him anyway. You know? So you have a lot of different things going on here. But I definitely believe that there are a lot of these guys who are considered the a-holes of society who have no problem getting women because women like that in a man. You know? But I will tell you this, though. The guy that people have been talking about, I believe his name is CJ King, right? He's a guy who shows confidence in himself, but there are women who are publicly against him, even though privately, you know, his DMs and emails probably say something different. But outwardly, they don't like him because, one, he don't need a woman. You know, he don't need a woman. And he's confident in his ability to be able to make a lot of money and do for himself and date who he wants. Shout out to Mr. Crouch for becoming the free agent, for becoming a member. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, man. Got another member on the team. But as I was saying, man, there's a reason why there are certain guys that are acceptable. You got the acceptable alpha males, and you got the alpha males that aren't acceptable. You are acceptable to be an alpha male to a woman if you need her or if you're dependent on her somehow. And then you have the unacceptable alpha males because those guys don't need a woman. They really don't. They can travel. They can date who they want. And that bothers women these days. Because women, especially in the melanated community, they're in competition with the men. They're in heavy competition with the men to the point to where they can't even see things in a logical sense. Why would you want a guy who isn't confident? I thought you wanted a guy that was confident. But the truth of the matter is they want a confident guy they can control. You know, it's all about control and power, you know. But if you're a guy who is an alpha and you present yourself in a way that you don't need a woman for anything, that you're confident in your abilities to date who you want, and you're going to hold that woman accountable, oh, she don't want you no more.